select the correct connector to connect to your Cat vehicle. So this is ET itself when you first connect or at least boot up the program. Where you're gonna see now. Mine is set to not automatically connect. I have to click connect and then it will try to look for an ECM, and if it finds one, it's going to connect to it. When you first connect, this is the screen you're going to get. This is basically a quick snapshot of information about your machine or engine. Now if it's a piece of machinery that has multiple control modules, they're going to be displayed on the left. This is a truck engine, so long as one ECM, and that's displayed on the left. It's also going to show the serial number. Now it's going to give you some basic information like that, the serial number. It's going to tell you the date and the time of the ECM, personality module code, vehicle ID stuff. Like that bottom left, we have active codes and status flags. You can click on those. And we're going to now go to the status screen. So the status screen will tell you what sensors are reading. Also it will tell you inputs and outputs. So if your exhaust brake or your Jacobs brake was set on it, would show you what it's set. Now look at our accelerator pedal position I just pushed. It went from 3 to 68. Notice the min-max. As long as you're on the screen, it will keep the minimum and maximum. Once you change screens though in the status screen to a different status group, it's going to reset the minimum and maximum from that previous screen. Now start recording minimum and maximum for the current screen. Now the status groups are preset, but you can, if you want to under groups, they're on the bottom left, preset certain parameters and HUI engine. Under custom status groups, the full screen button will display 1 through, I believe, 8 sensor readings. If you're trying to walk 1 or 2, now notice the region 1 didn't have many. That's because this is a non-region engine. So it's only going to show sensors that this engine has. It's not going to show sensors that the engine doesn't have. Make sense? Now let's go to active diagnostic codes. This has no active diagnostic codes, but if a data would be displayed there, if it had any log diagnostic codes, this would be displayed there. There are no active events. If there were, I'd be able to click on it. Logged events is going to be displayed. This has logged events J1939 device not responding. That's a data link code. There's probably something wrong with dash control module or ABS modules, something like that. Now notice in the bottom there, it says troubleshoot code. If you click on that, either in the logged or active events or diagnostic codes, it's going to take you to either something called component-based troubleshooting, or it's going to try to log you into Cs, which that occurred. Now we'll get back to our little information center here. Let's go to our configuration. Notice all the configurations are collapsed. You can expand them. View what information you want. The first one's going to have like your engine rating and stuff. It's going to be all the programmable features. Let's try to find the vehicle speed limit. That is under vehicle speed parameters, and it's on the very top line there. Vehicle speed limit go up to 127 miles an hour. However, if you try to change it, you may require factory password or a customer password. Now if you get to the bottom, these are very important, which is some LS and FDS do fall like the most horsepower, so the FELS and FDS and your personality module code should not be changed. Unless you're a dealer and doing a power dyno, they are set at the factory on the dyno. Please don't mess with them. Just because you think you're going to get a bunch more horsepower, better fuel economy, or doesn't mean better. There's software here, but there's one called critical events. This is different than the logged events, the critical events. Also under diagnostics, we're going to have our diagnostic tests. These are the available diagnostic tests for the engine and injector solenoid check. Special test cylinder cutout test. Let's go to cylinder cutout test. Now notice the engine is not running. We have 0 engine speed, but you can still mess around with it, do cutout tests. You can actually do injector solenoid test too. That's also under diagnostics if you're having electrical problems. Now we're going to be going to service, and then we're going to go to ECM date and time. So this will enable you to change the ECM date and time. A lot of the time it is not. Next we're going to go into service, and then calibrations. That is where you do injector trim calibrations. These are your injector trim files. Now just like the FLS and FDS, you should not be changing your injector trim files to just an arbitrary number. They should match what is actually on the injector. Let the injectors in the engine run at optimal levels. Now there's a feature called the trainer, which is this little guy in the blue with the line. Engines and machines, you can click on in the trainer mode. And what it's going to do is it's going to fake connect to one of these machines or engines. Then it's going to let you do tests, like a cylinder cutout test, change parameters. Look, it's showing that it's connected to an SDP, which is a cat truck engine. But it's really not. It's also going to show you that the engine's running, different tests. You could do fake timing test, change configuration. Whatever you want to do, you're not hurting anything. Use this if you're unfamiliar with how to use ET, you'll learn a lot.